You know what I want to talk to you about, don't you?
Three times.
You know what I got to talk to you about.
What happened?
Man, that first quarter, that little collision you had earlier with Battle,
Oh yeah.
that was unbelievable, man.
That's gonna happen, man.
Yeah.
He caught my right shoulder.
Yeah.
I want to report the hits.
Well, you took him on, D, but here's my angle on it.
The helmet.
Based on the new rule.
That wasn't nothing, man. That's football.
Well, no, we know. Look, we know it's football. But I mean, just if the shoe had been on the other foot, and it had been you, that would have been that would have been a penalty, man, possibly a fine. Not that I expect you to complain about it, but it's just an interesting interpretation of the rule. He was between the tackle, but he was downfield far enough where he had an opportunity not to take the hit on in that manner. I'm okay with it. It's good football, good entertainment, but it's just interesting how the defensive player how the rule is being governed. I just think it's being governed a little bit more stricter
on defense.
Do you agree with that?
I would.
Yeah.
Because we have more opportunities to do it. I mean, let me say, hitting the KJ had. Technically, that's a good football play, but that's
right.
Rules. They changing it up because of safety. If me and Battle, and I would have took on with my head and Lord with my head, probably the outcome would have been different. But I think just for the safety reason. I mean, my helmet didn't come off, and it wasn't like, I got knocked out or anything crazy. But it was definitely a good football move. He was protecting himself. That's what running back taught to do. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't playing the rules. I was just trying to go down and make a tackle. I was coming across the screen. And I actually got low. His helmet, I went across the body. And his helmet hit my shoulder. So it's hard to say that he lowered his helmet. He actually hit my shoulder. I couldn't wrap him up.
Yeah, but I just thought that he led intentionally. Like when I was in high school, I played running back. I thought he lowered his head intentional with the crown of his helmet.
When you see the replay, his head was actually lowered in his back. So you can definitely.
I can't wait to look at it again.
Yeah, you can see it.
Look at it again.
That right there. That's football, man, dude.
Oh no, that part of it, no issue. But I'm just in regard to rule interpretation.
If a perfect world, if I would have came straight down with him instead of being outside coming in, my momentum would have went that way. I probably would have went lower. I had my angle was a little different, a little distorted. I was coming from the right side, coming down to make a hit. So I'm off like this, and he hit me like that. It was more like that type of hit.
Look, okay, for just the average fan that doesn't understand a whole lot of X and O football and may not even care to understand it, but kind of explain from your vantage point and probably from both safety positions, what advantage you guys get now with Cushion back on the field playing well. How does that matriculate to where it benefits you guys in the secondary? Things that the average guy just may not understand.
Well, with a player like Brian, certain things that certain matchups that the teams try to do. They try to run to a guy like him, try to get him offset for his ability. They try to run screens at him and stuff like that to get him off. But with Cush's speed, his aggressiveness, and the knowledge of the game, man, it's hard to play like. It's hard to pick him out. You got everybody else around him. I think with Wade, Cush, I think it is exploiting his talent a little more. In this defensive scheme, he can play the way he needs to play. It's just pretty much just get him a chance to make more plays, and everybody on the defense, just the way it's drawn up. Wade knows his stuff on defense.
So schematically, when Cushion got back on the field, Wade Phillips is literally drawing up things differently than he would have drawn them up last year after he was off the field.
Yeah, because we certain plays, certain blitzes were for Cush. You know what I mean?
Especially designed for Brian.
Or the way that he was calling in that position.
Okay.
Everyone has the same blitz, but more likely he was calling more plays in that position that Brian was in. So we knew that.
Yeah.
And like I said, when you got a player like that roam in the middle, you know exactly where he's going to be. And opposing offenses, they know it too. You get tight end coming across the middle, and you have outside leverage or whatever. He's looking at Cush. By that time, you get a chance to run up and cover your man certain looks, so you can disguise a little bit better. You know what I mean? You know when who is helping you. You got Joe Mays who's playing great, and we just got we've been having Dobbs, and now we got my boy 51
Sharp. Back. Yeah, he did some good things today too.
So they those guys are right there in the middle, so that helps you out in covering. And Shaw KO is playing great for high middle field safety. So certain techniques, you don't have to rush so much. Get out of leverage. You can keep playing your leverage and keep the guy. But certain ways he's gonna run. He's not gonna run it because I know he's helping me.
Yeah. From a distance, it appeared that y'all ran more single high coverage this week with KO. Did you, or did it just maybe I just misjudged what I saw as opposed to the opening game?
What do you mean by that?
Where he was in deep coverage, and where you were more up in the box. I thought I saw more plays today.
It was predicated off how they lined up. At strong safety, we usually go strong side. I'm always over the tight end side.
Yeah.
And if it's tight end receivers, I'm on that side. And if it's just a tight end or whatever, tight end receiver, like I said, I'm still on the tight end side. So it's predicated on what call we have and where I'm lining up at.
Yeah,
we had certain things like we had certain packages or certain calls based off what personnel they were giving us. That where you may see me down in a box versus deep. Most of the time they line up in that personnel where I was on the tight end side. I had to come down and cover.
Appreciate you, G.
No problem.
As always, thank you.
No problem.
All right, good luck next week. Welcome back, folks. And as you can see, as Danielle Manning stated, Brian Cushing really allows Wade Phillips, who knows what he's doing on the defensive side of football, as Danielle Manning stated, he allows the Texans defensively to be able to play to the strengths of how the scheme is designed, because every scheme, folks, is what it is, but when you have great players that play within the scheme, different areas of that particular scheme of defense or offense become more of a prevalent piece of how that particular team plays their version of that scheme. And with the Texans, Brian Cushing is that key link. J.J. Watt is your best player overall, but Brian Cushing is the guy that gives Wade Phillips the opportunities to diversify the defense, and it trickles down. It allows JJ to be more effective and everyone else in the front seven to take on less responsibility in other areas and concentrate on their strengths. Last year you had guys playing outside their strength. You had guys on the field on third down in the linebacking core that didn't belong on the field in third down. Well, Brian Cushing can stay on the field doing third down. So good stuff there, and we hope that Brian stays healthy and continues to progress, because he's not even 100% as far as what he's going to be as the season goes forward. Let's move on to J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt, I find this interesting about Watt. The first game of the season, Watt doesn't have the big sacks, but he comes out and he's impactful, has 3 solo tackles, I believe it was, a deflected pass, or 1 pass deflection, and a tackle for loss. This week, 5 solo tackles, 2 of those for a loss, 2 sacks, 2 passes deflected, and 4 quarterback hits. Listen to that line again on J.J. Watt versus Tennessee. 5 solo tackles, 2 of those for a loss, 2 sacks, 2 passes defended at the line of scrimmage, and 4 quits on hits on the quarterback. Brian Cushing also had a couple of hits on the quarterback. So obviously J.J. Watt just makes things happen. He just as we talk about Cushing, 2 guys that are highly competitive and work well together. These are the guys that make everything go for the Texans, and J.J. Watt is doing nothing but getting better and better as he gets more acclimated, a guy that didn't play any preseason time. And I think a lot of what you're seeing with the Texans and why they're struggling in some areas overall and maybe not playing as efficient from whistle to whistle, first quarter to fourth quarter, I think there is some rust on all NFL rosters, but the Texans got key players that didn't see a lot of action. Arian didn't see action. Ed Reed hasn't seen action. Cushing didn't play much at all in preseason. He played more than J.J. Watt did. J.J. Watt hardly played at all. So when you think about that in context, the Texans are kind of getting in, I wouldn't say in football shape for each of these guys, maybe for Arian, but they're definitely just kind of getting their football just instincts and getting used to the contact as they move forward on the fly. And so you know, just be patient, Texan fans. As long as they keep inking out wins, break the season down into 4-game increments and judge it on that. You know, we 2-0 in these first 4 matchups, and on the road against the Ravens, that's a winnable football game for the Texans if they continue to improve. How about let's look at a couple other guys, how they fared. You know, everybody always wants to keep up with the rookies. DJ Swearinger, 4 solo tackles. Shiloh Keogh continues to my surprise, play a lot better than what I expected him to. Now, I think a lot of that has to do with the scheme and how he's being used. Hey, we saw the Texans trust him against the Titans. We saw him in single high coverage over the top. Danielle Manning stated on the interview that, you know, he's always on the tight end side, and depending on what they're doing, you know, you're going to see that single high coverage. So you know, hey, look, Shiloh is playing better than I expected. So what can I say there? So also we take a look at a guy like Brooks Reed, who got into the action a little bit tonight. 3 tackles for Brooks Reed, a couple of solo tackles. He was active out there. I think the Texans linebackers obviously hurt this team last year because guys just weren't able to feed off of your key guy in Brian Cushing. And I just think we're getting improved play, and as the season progresses, it'll be real interesting to see how things work out. I'm telling you, Brooks Reed and Whitney Merciless, the development of those 2 guys, I think more critically for Brooks Reed this season than Whitney Merciless. Whitney's first year as a starter, so obviously the Texans are going to be more patient in that regard. #1 draft pick from the previous season, so he's not, you know, not in any critical state right now. But I think Brooks Reed, you know, could be an interesting year for Brooks Reed. I think after this season, after the next season, Brooks Reed is a guy that'll be possibly coming up for contract. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Texans play this going forward. So I'll tell you what, we got more video for you guys. We got more interviews. We're going to go to some of that now. We got more tailgate stuff for you folks. It's The Cut, and you know how we do it. We out here at Reliance Stadium, me and Richard Big Walker doing what we do, trying to bring you the best coverage that we can bring you in our own flavor and our own fashion. So what I want you folks to do is sit back, grab you one, and pop the cap on it, and we're going to take you out and let you hear a few more of the interviews that we got out there. Dwayne Brown, some concern with him. He got a foot situation. I'm sure you're going to hear some of that. Just hang in there, and check it all out. And also, we'll take you back out to the tailgates and let you see what's going on out there with Tony Meeks and all those folks at the Raging Bull tailgates. You might even hear from Glenn Miller. Who knows, all right? Hang in there, folks. It's The Cut with Craig Shelton. That old line, it looked like we did some good things today.
I gotta look at the film.
They had a good little run there with some good plays at the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah. No, we started fast and we ended good, but we just got to be consistent, man. The Titans, they did a great job. They had a lot of different looks that they threw out there that we wanted to see from them. We got consistent all game, myself included. You know what I'm saying? Especially in pass protection as well. We got no 2-minute situation. There was too much pressure.
How different of a Titan team is that? Is that not the same old Titans from last year?
They always play physical. They always play hard. But as far as the different looks that they have, it's not a strictly 4-down defense. They have a lot of different packages that they put in there with different personnel. That we're not used to seeing. Yeah. But it's the same intensity. That we're used to seeing.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It looked like that defense got stronger, as they went on to me. It seemed like, particularly late in the fourth quarter, I think they thought they were going to close this thing out and it'd be over and done with. And that's testament back to what you talked about earlier in training camp about this team. Is not a team that gets complacent or gives up. And I thought today was a good example of the team coming together and finishing that. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I think that's just a step from where we went last week. You know what I'm saying? We are a very mentally tough team. We are down. We down one point. We get a pick six there, and anybody else is like, well, there it is. Yeah. But we got the ball back. We knew we had to go down and put points on the board. Able to do it. Aaron on that 2-point conversion, he get hit at the 2-yard line, still get the ball in his zone. That's just kind of toughness that we possess as a team. going overtime. Had a chance to close it out, couldn't close it out in the regulation, going overtime. And just, drive the ball down the field. You know what I mean? That's the kind of team we have, man. It's the sign of a great team. We have a lot of mistakes we got to correct, but being able to correct them when you're 2-0 is a great feeling.
What did you think about the Bernard Pollard hit on Andre?
I think it was a good hit. I was talking to the ref about it. It's kind of tough because, I don't think he launched at him with, malicious intent. You know what I mean? Talking on the sideline, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, the play where he hit him in the neck and shoulder area.
He was closing out. He didn't look for his head, but that's how football is played. With it, and it's tough. The DBs have it tough. But they don't have. You have a split second to make a decision. You don't have a big area where you can target. So I don't think it was a malicious hit. But. That's just how it goes.
Before we close out with you, got to ask you to talk a little bit about the performance of DeAndre. He put the team on his shoulders.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of good theater. Dre goes down, and Matt Sharp had already shown a lot of confidence in him. I saw that one series where he went to him in that critical series 2 times, and they won successful on both of those. And you come back and get the ball back. Dre goes out, and then he just takes over from there.
Yeah, those are the kind of plays he's been making all season. All in training camp, in the preseason. Those are the kind of plays he's been making, and we're used to saying that. We know the kind of ability he possesses, and having all of those weapons, Matt having all those weapons at his disposal is huge for us. You have a guy like Dre go down. A lot of people, feeling down about it. All right, playmaker went down. Not us. We know what kind of ability DeAndre possesses, and you throw the ball up one-on-one coverage, he's going to get it. You don't see that very often from a young player like that.
Yeah.
He took advantage of the moment, and he's going to continue to do that the rest of the year.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you. Get healthy now, all right? See you next week. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Hey, we doing it up like we doing up with the #1 tailgater in Texas, baby. Raise the boom tailgate, y'all make some noise! That's my #1 man in this house, me and Sweet Miller. Hey, Tony Mix, give me a little bit down, man. I gotta let Glenn explain to us how Texas is gonna take care of these Titans today.
Let's take care of business, you know how it is. Hey, they got look, this is gonna be a much bigger win than people will give credit for too. I'm gonna tell you what the guys got on Tuesday morning at 6:30. So they're gonna have body blocks are all crazy. We're still gonna take care of business. 2-0, we gonna roll, right? We're gonna roll. I'm feeling good about it. 13-3, 14-2, we gonna Super Bowl.
I'm gonna say the Texans keep the Titans in third and long for most of the day. And that puts a lot of pressure on your quarterback who's not very good.
Game over. That's the key of the game right there.
If the Titans stay running the football today, the Titans have 0 chance against the Texans. Y'all get your crank on, ready to go, Glenn Miller, you man.
It's on. Let's do it.
No.
They're crack.
Hey, folks, join us right here at the Raise the Bull Tailgate, all the way from the desk of the ESPN Sports Show. Former NFL tight end Mike Thecutt. Mike, how you doing today, Coach?
Here to see a good ball game. Of course, it's not theirs, but it's still a good ball game.
Hey, Mike, you've been on the other side of some pretty ridiculous comments over the years on ESPN and a couple of bad coaching decisions along the way. Have you forgiven yourself and are you welcoming your own family?
Well, put it this way, I'm going to the election next Saturday. Right now, I just been happy to do what I do.
Well, Coach Thecutt, I just want you to know that if I was ever walking into a 65 muscular athletic freak, I'd love to play for you, sir.
You're on.
All right, try not to have hard talking about this, all right? All right, Mike Thecutt, folks, right here at the radio. All right, man, we're going to continue with the great interviews of all the celebrities that hang out here at the Raging Bull Tailgate. We have Cincinnati Bengal quarterback Andy Dalton in the house. How's it going?
Oh, it's good.
Hey, man, what's up with the shrinking? You used to be, now you're like Johnny Manziel. I got you. And so how does it feel knowing that Matt Sharp is much better than you, Andy?
That's why I'm here.
You feel because Sharp is hard?
No, Sharp's better than me. That's why I'm here.
Oh, because you you acknowledge that Matt Sharp is better than you. You gotta want to give us a pick on the game plan. Are you prepared to be beaten in the playoffs for a third year consecutively by the Houston Texans and playback? You're not even gonna make it. Even with that great defense in Cincinnati? That's right, you're the quarterback. Hand it out, folks. Appreciate you, Andy. Keep sucking, bro. Hand it out. That's cool. Hand it out. Kind of like in the body of Johnny Manziel. We got James Harden from the Houston Rockets joining us right here in the Reggie Bull tailgate. So, James, how do you feel about Dwight Howard joining the team? I love it. And you hanging out with the Reggie Bull tailgaters, so you're a big NFL and Texan fan, right, James?
Yes, sir.
No doubt about that. What's your favorite Texan?
The Ninja Assassin.
Hey, James, I want to ask you something, man. Growing up in the hood like you did and everything, were nose earrings in?
Oh, all day long. All day. All day, every day. If you didn't have one, we weren't tough.
And did you inspire Ricky Ross, or did Ricky Ross inspire you?
Rick Ross got the inspiration from me. I came out with a,
What?
The one we lost.
What?
We were ahead 18-11.
Ricky Ross inspired this man to go that because James Harden used to rock it. So James, you should pick your defensive game up a little bit, all right?
21-8.
All right, you got Dwight Howard now. Just let him go left, let him go into the paint, and Dwight will clean it up. Appreciate that.
Give me a break. We'll go back
Man,
to it.
Jack Nicholson, first Jack Nicholson, who admitted right here at the Reggie Bull tailgate that he smoked crack when he was more older. Then we get James Harden. It's cool, man.
We don't
Brooks
know,
Reed,
but
we own it, man. We on all day, having fun, Reggie Bull tailgate. I'm creating shows, doing what we do. Tony Mix, turn it up, baby. Vanilla Ice in the house today. We're gonna